in American politics know a couple of lines from it because in Robert Kennedy's tragically shortened presidential campaign in 1968, he would quote a couple of lines and say, "It is not too late to seek a newer world." And it worked for him, and for those of us who supported that effort, it was magical. But it was really not an accurate reflection of what the poem was about. The poem was about an old man determined to be young. It was about Ulysses in the twilight of his life, his son Telemachus having taken over the throne, throwing in with his buddies and said, "Let's just push off and seek a farther shore. It is not too late to seek a newer world. There is always something to be done." John Dingell, if he stays here another 50 years, will be forever young. That is his enduring legacy. Show up to work. Find something to do. Find something to fight for. Find something to stand for. Though we may not be of that strength and temper of our youth, that which we are, we are. So let's set off. Old John's still setting off. And it sends us up. We love it. And we love him. The longest serving member of the House of Representatives in the history of our beloved nation, John Dingell.
God bless you, Mr. President, and thank you for those gracious words. And I want to say how pleased I am to see you here and how pleased I am to see you looking well. You look wonderful, Mr. President, and thank God for that. We miss you and we miss the great days when you were president, and we're certainly happy to see you back here. Madam Speaker, for this great event, I thank you. You're a wonderful friend. You're a great speaker. You're a wonderful leader. And you're going to leave a tremendous mark on history. I want to also thank the staff, the caterers, the Capitol Police, our Sergeant at Arms and his office for the hard work that went into this event. And I want to thank you all for being here. I want to tell you that I was relieved when the President introduced me because everybody was so kind. I was afraid they might be talking about somebody else. But I do want to thank all of you for coming and being a part of this very special day for me. And I want to say that the man that I'm replacing, Jamie Whitten, was a tremendous member. He was a believer in public works, and frankly, his Mississippi district is full of reminders of what he did to help us make this a better place in which to live. And I want to say that Travis Childers, who is here, was particularly proud of his predecessor, and he's a great member, and we're going to love him and be very proud of what he does. And I note that representing our friend Jamie Whitten is Hall DeSalle, his former chief of staff. We certainly are happy to welcome you and to use your presence to remind us of our friend Jamie Whitten. Now tomorrow, Jamie Whitten's record is going to be broken. But it isn't going to be broken as to the quality of his labors, which will stand the test of time. And I want to thank our leadership, you, Madam Speaker, for your wonderful kindness to me today and to my family. And I want to express my thanks to my dear friend Steny Hoyer and to the Republican leader John Boehner and to the many distinguished leaders of the House and the Senate who are here today. Thank you all, and God bless you for being here. I want to also thank my friend John Lewis for his gracious and powerful words. He's a wonderful man, he's a real hero, and we're proud to be associated with him. I also want to say how pleased I am to see my friend Joe Barton. Joe is a fellow who proves that bipartisanship does work on occasions. And he does prove that great friendships are possible across the aisle. And Joe, I want you to know how proud I am of my friendship with you. And I'm proud of all these people who are great servants. And I want to note that you, Mr. President, have made a special trip here today. And I view this as a particular and a great honor. Thank you very, very much. And I want to say how proud I am of your kindness again, Madam Speaker. You have shown yourself to be a tremendous leader, and I'm privileged to be serving with you, and I'm honored to be with you today. I want to mention some very special people now, beginning with a wonderful woman who brings joy to my life, who brings a smile to my face when I wake in the morning, who has shown me goodness and kindness and love and affection, who is loved by all who know her. She's beautiful and she's good. She's my wife, Deborah. God bless you, Deborah. And I think everybody wants a great love affair in their life with a wonderful person. And I'm happy to say that I got it, and I would wish the same upon all of you. I want to introduce my little sister, Jalay. When there's trouble in the family or when there's trouble anywhere, she's always there. Baby sister. And her partner, Bob, who is here also. Bob, thank you. My brother, Dr. James Dingle. Jim, thank you for being here. And his wonderful wife, Gigi. And grandson, James III. Where are you, James? And I want to note the presence of somebody who's very special to me. My number 2 son, Christopher, better known as Judge Dingle. Where are you, Judge? As they say, we did have a seat for you, Christopher. As they say in Gilbert and Sullivan, and a good judge too. And his wife, Cindy. Cindy, we're honored you're with us. And I have a very special daughter by the name of Jennifer. If you need to know how to make a computer sing, she's the one who will do it for you. And I have some wonderful nephews here, Mark and Robin, Eric and Kirk, Michael, and Debbie's cousin, Larry Fisher. Larry, where are you? Thank you for being with us. And lastly, I want to again comment how grateful I am for having my dear spouse, the lovely Deborah, here. I want to tell you, Mr. President, Madam Speaker, that something that you know. Serving in the House of Representatives is indeed a great privilege. Probably less than 20,000 people have served here during the life of the nation. I've been fortunate to do this for more than 53 years. It's an enormous blessing. And I feel it every time I walk into the floor of the House, which I first did at the age of 6, at the side of my father when we went through the east door, and it was the biggest darn door I ever saw, and it went into the biggest room that I had ever seen. I have never failed since then to appreciate, in a growing way, the extraordinary wisdom of our founding fathers and their designing of a system of government that not only stands the test of time, but that I'm satisfied will serve us and our successors with dignity and respect for a long time into the future. And I want to express my gratitude to the people of Southeast Michigan. I say this occasionally, and I try to mean it as a compliment. They're loyal as dogs. They're wonderful people. They have been so good to Deborah and I, and I'm so grateful to them for that. And I'm proud of the hundreds of colleagues with whom I have served. They taught me much. They tolerated my imperfections. They shared my labors, and they made me better at my job day after day. I've noted that I have a wonderful family. I was born into a wonderful family. I had a mother who was uniquely good. She was the core of everything, and she provided the heart and the soul of this family. And I'm certainly proud of my dad, mentioned to you today. He was a little guy, weighed 110 pounds, soaking wet. He lied that he was 5'8". In fact, he was probably 5'6". But the size wasn't important. And he had a voice like the crack of doom. My wonderful administrative assistant was his when he was here. And she said that you used to be able to hear his voice when he got to shouting in the Ways and Means Committee room from his office, which was at 1110. And I remember one time he wanted to be on the he wanted to get a member of Congress on a particular committee. It was the Committee on Committees in those days, Charlie, before they screwed things up around here. And he got to shouting, and everybody was glad to try and get him shut up. And they said, John, we'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. Well, Dad had a lot he wanted to say, and so he finished sometime later. In any event, as my dear friend John Lewis mentioned, the year I came to Congress, there was the question of the lynching of a young man, Emmett Till. That was followed by years of struggle and effort, marching, and the kind of things that this heroic John Lewis did. I had a chance then to vote in '57 for the Civil Rights Act, and then for the '64 Act. And those were subjects of intense controversy. But it's interesting to note that I now serve with my 11th president. And by the way, I don't serve under him, I serve with him, as Sam Rayburn used to say. In any event, nobody thinks anything about the fact that he's an African American. And he's a great president, and he's going to be a great president. And I want to give greetings to my old friend Tom Fuller. Tom, we're happy to see you here. It's been an interesting ride. We've seen the Soviet Union confronting us as our greatest adversary. Then we saw them implode. We saw China emerge from isolation to become our single most important bilateral relationship of this century. And we've seen extraordinary changes in all the continents, Africa, South America, and Asia. And we've seen the lives of the American people change in extraordinary ways. Most of the change has been good. It's shown how we travel, how we use the Earth's resources, how we communicate one with another. And our health system, with all its flaws, it gives us great care if you can only afford to get it, and if you have health insurance. This is something about which we have to do something. And we have to do something to support our education system. And we have to be mindful that the time is at hand for addressing the problem of global climate change. But we must do it sensibly and not destroy other values that are important as we do it. The nation is at war in 2 foreign countries, and we are alert to the threat of terrorism. And we also have one of the great economic recessions that we have confronted. And I want to say that despite all these challenges, and we are working on them, we are confronting some of the greatest challenges that we've seen since Pearl Harbor and 9/11, days that most of us remember in this room. But I will tell you this. I'm proud of this system of government and the people who are in it. I'm proud of the participation of the American people. I'm proud of the people with whom I serve. And I know that this country has a great future. And I'm willing to lay down and bet at this particular minute any amount of money that when the next century and the century after that come around, this will still be a great country, peopled by wonderful people and doing great things for our own people and for the people of the world. I'm proud to stand before you this day. I'm grateful to you all. I want you to know how lucky I've been with my family and my wife. I want you to know how fortunate I am to have been an American. And all I can say to you is, God bless each and every one of us, especially all of you here today. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Come on up here, Debbie. On behalf of all of my colleagues in the Congress, I think almost all of whom are here, I want to thank you all for joining us this evening on the eve of John Dingell's breaking the record. Tomorrow, on the floor of the House, as the flag flies over the Capitol in John's honor, our colleagues will gather together to introduce and speak to a resolution saluting and praising his extraordinary leadership in the Congress. John Dingell will break the record tomorrow, and every day that he serves thereafter, he will establish a new record, not, as the President said, just of longevity, but of great quality of leadership and great patriotism to our country. So once again, let us salute John Dingell, friend and leader.
He lies.
Hello, Ron.
We love you, John.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, Sheila.
What an honor. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.